Known him in old school football because I certainly do. I loved watching all the old school highlights. Formerly with the Kansas City Chiefs, well known, and he's got a great foundation with him. Former pro, 6 years in the NFL, all with Kansas City. The Nigerian Nightmare himself, Christian Okoye, stops by on the program. I got to tell you, though, Christian, just as a quick thing before we get into these questions is, I'm watching the resurgence of running backs. A few years ago, people were kind of questioning a lot about what do we do about the running back position? These guys got to get paid. They deserve their own. Well, now I'm starting to see Saquon and Derrick Henry and now Jonathan Taylor, who's putting up an MVP caliber season. And you've played this position. It to me, it serves a very vast importance for an offense. What do you make of this resurgence with running backs? I think it's a beauty to watch, in my opinion.
I love it. I love it. The running back position needs to be featured in games today, and it was kind of sad when many teams did away with running game. But now, as like you said, it's coming back, and you can tell when you run the ball, you have a chance to win. So many teams are finding that out, and they're coming back to it. So I love it.
So obviously your story is very unique amongst a lot of other pros that have played in this game. And, coming from Nigeria and, playing from internationally and coming into the NFL, and you brought a humongous force, into this league. What inspired your journey from Nigeria to the NFL, and how did that transition shape you as a person?
Well, actually, originally I came to the US to train and participate in 1984 Olympics. But that never happened because Nigeria just left me out, didn't take me to the Olympics. So my friends have been talking to me about trying football. And so I decided when I couldn't go to the Olympics that I'm going to try football. And this was my junior year in college. That's when I started playing. And I played 3 years, went to the Senior Bowl, and the Chiefs picked me up.
Wow. Yeah. And you know what? Thanks to Kansas City for giving you the opportunity and then leaving your markup from there, which leads me to my question is because you've played many years with this organization. And I will say
Yes.
this Kansas City has really revamped themselves as just an organization and just the city itself because it's a proud organization. They've been waiting for their moment. And then in comes Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowls later. So playing in this organization, what was your most memorable moment during your tenure with the Chiefs? Because, I've watched so much highlights of you, and I'm like, man, this guy's an absolute brute force.
Well, I tell you what, if you play in Kansas City, you will remember the fans over there. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the Chiefs kingdom is just alive, and I mean, they're the best fans in the world. When you come to Arrowhead Stadium, you will enjoy yourselves. They'll offer you food and beer, drinks. They will welcome you. They are not nasty. They are nice to everybody, and they are loud during the game. They support their Chiefs. I tell you, since Patrick Mahomes came, everything came back. And I go to every home game and I enjoy it. I love it. I love Kansas City. Great food, great fans, and I tell you, I'm the best owner.
Mm-hmm. I had a former chief who was on the program a while back, Sean Smith, the deep lineman. He says exactly the similar things. And I'm a traveler myself, and I love coming to new places. I've never been, but I love the barbecuing, love the atmosphere and the culture. So I look forward to it.
Yeah.
So I've watched, growing up as a kid, I watched a lot of fullbacks. You can name them all. I've watched yourself. I've watched Lorenzo Neal. I've watched many other fullbacks that have come in, made their impact. How do you feel fullbacks are honestly valued in today's game compared to when you play? Because I mostly see the resurgence of running backs. But then I look at, the Chargers, they got a Swiss Army knife of a fullback who's playing D-line and all this stuff. How do you feel? Like, what has changed?
Well, I think the realization that running back it can be your defense. I mean, you know how they say defenses win championship. If you run the ball, you're gonna win. You remember when New England were winning all the Super Bowls? They were
Yep.
running the ball, and people didn't know that. People didn't know it because they had Brady. You know, so now the Chiefs are running around trying to get more support in the running back position, and they should because they need support. They need Mahomes. They need to give him help. Mahomes is over there trying everything he can to win games. He needs somebody to run the ball and run it effectively. Pacheco is doing great, and Kareem Hunt is doing awesome. But we need another guy who can go over there and help him out.
I thought it was crazy that they literally came up just this close to getting Brees Hall from the Jets because the Jets are
Yes.
already unloaded and they asked for a fourth, and then the Jets wanted a third. I was just
Yeah.
like, wow, to be that close. Again, when you're in the business realm, it's like you're basically talking numbers, negotiating, and trying to figure out where do you
Yeah.
find a happy medium. And then all of a sudden that just happens, and it's like, man, only what could have been.
I'm
Um,
telling you. I'm telling
yeah,
you. Third and fourth. I mean, what's the difference? Just
right.
give it up.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so I gotta say, the NFL being as global as it is, we're watching games in London mostly, Munich in Germany, Brazil. We started the year with the Chiefs and Chargers. I thought it was fun, and we're starting to get more and more global here, Christian. Do you think we'll actually see more players? Because I have seen a lot of players from your home country that have come in and they're making a vast impact. I love it mostly because, I mean, I'm a baseball fan at heart. And when I watch a lot of these international players, like what we're seeing with Shohei Ohtani, back-to-back World Series championships, he's making a mark and an impact. And so
Yeah.
when you think about that with players that come in internationally into football, we had the Euro League years ago, where a lot of players from Europe they were playing in it. How do you think, like more players? Are they eventually going to start stockpiling more and more? The more this game starts to get televised and more gets showcased on fields in international territories. Do you think we'll see more of an overload of that?
Well, it's taken longer in Europe, but you see a lot of Africans in the NFL. If you look at NFL teams right now, every team has one or two or even more African playing, especially Nigerians, you know. But I think it's going to take more longer for Europeans to join. A few of them are playing, but not as well as Africans are playing in the NFL now. Um, I've been a long time ago, about 20 years ago, I tried to get NFL to go and play preseason game preseason game in Nigeria because a lot of Nigerians were playing in the NFL and more are playing today. But
Hmm.
they didn't think there's any money in that. But very soon there's going to be a game in Africa, I think. Whether it produces more money, but we have more fans in Africa than Europe as far as NFL football is concerned. So I'm hoping they do that.
It's interesting because I always look forward to the World Cup every year. And I'm just kind of looking, when Nigeria is playing and all the African countries they're representing, they're playing in the World Cup. And I'm like,
Yeah,
could you imagine if we just have one NFL game that could be
yeah,
played up any stadium that would obviously the turf maintenances, all of that. Like if you could just get the game there, just watch how many of the fans in
yeah.
that country that just they watch it, they love it, and how that can be very inspiring to even to young players. So this leads me to my question here because of just your background that you came in and you left your mark. If you could give an advice to a young player trying to make it from an international background, because we know there's many challenges up from there, um, what would you basically say to them?
I will say hard work is everything, and to make as many contacts as you can. I have a lot of Nigerians contacting me via social media, telling me they can play football. But it's very easy to say that you can play football if you're not prepared. You have to be able to practice and kind of interact with the other guys who are playing football and get in it. If you're not used to it, it will be extremely hard. I got lucky. When I got into football, it was extremely difficult for me. I decided to work extremely hard so I can make it. And a lot of people gave me support for it. But I was here in America. So if you're outside of America, it will be a little tougher. You got to be here to do it.
Yeah. And at the same time, you're putting in the work, you're making the most of it in this journey. That's
Yeah.
what's really impactful. And I gotta say, Christian, I appreciate you for coming by and just look, I've interviewed many former pros and I've listened to many stories, but yours is a one of a kind that I was just like the minute we connected and just got it here, I was just so thrilled. So you obviously have worked so hard with your charitable work at the Christian Okoye Foundation. Tell us
Yeah.
more about that on the mission and for our audiences, how we can help to contribute to the foundation and where we need to go to then support and give back, because I'm all about that and love stories like this.
Well, first of all, the website, if you go to okoyefoundation.org or christianokoye.com, you can contribute there and you can learn about the Christian Okoye Foundation. But we've been going on since 1990 and we do a lot of work. We started out in California and Kansas City. We spread out to Hawaii and Nevada and even Arizona. But now we're concentrating in Kansas City and Nigeria. I dove into that because somebody helped me out of Nigeria. Somebody saw me and saw something in me and gave me support. So I'm trying to pay it forward, trying to help those kids who are very hungry to make it. Teaching them about education, of course, not only sports, because if you have sports and no education, you're never going to, jump forward in life. So education is extremely important. So I try to do that for them. And of course, in Kansas City in December, we take a bunch of kids shopping for Christmas because there are many kids in the system that don't even have Christmas.
Mm.
So this year we're going to take over 300 kids shopping, and I invite a lot of players to come in and lead them around. So stay busy helping kids and doing the things that we're supposed to do.
Oh, I absolutely love that. What a blessing that is. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, my wife and I, we have our own we're firm believers and we have our own church place that now every year in the Christmas, like the holidays, we have the Samaritan's Purse to where we end up packing up a lot of the things and that for kids, boys and girls, very good essentials and for something to give them because we never wanted a kid to be left without a gift. I think it's an absolute blessing what you guys do. I'm definitely praying it's a great turnout for you guys. I think it's fun. I think it's exciting. What a way to spread holiday cheer all throughout the holiday season. Christian, appreciate you for coming on by, my friend. Thank you so much for taking the time. We hope to see you soon. And listen, the Chiefs right now are 5-4. Any words of encouragement you got to say all till we get through the season?
They don't need it, man. We'll be there. We'll be there. I guarantee you.
There
We're
you
gonna be
go.
there.
There you go. All righty, my friend. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the Thanksgiving and enjoy the holidays ahead. And we hope to see you soon.
All right. Thank you, my man. God bless you.
Absolutely. God bless you.